Hi, in this video I'm going to talk to you about the difference of doing an MBA from a top B school like the IIMs or a handful of maybe 5, 6, 7 more institutes like MDI, XLRI, SP Jain, maybe a couple of more institutes here and there, versus trying to do an MBA from a normal college. So the first thing you should realize is that an MBA typically will be the last qualification you will have in your life, unless you plan to change your career tracks or something like that later in your career. But for most people, the MBA will be the last step of the educational career, after which the professional career starts. And hence, it is one last opportunity to change the kind of educational profile that you have. So you might have come from any school, any normal college, and if you have an IIM attached to your name at the end of your educational career, it takes care of a lot of things as you start off your career, as you build your career later, and it gives you a huge advantage over others. Hence, if you're trying to get into a management school, the idea has to be try to get to the best possible school you can. Because if you try to compromise at this point, then this, as I said, being the last educational degree that you will take, a compromise at this point will then put you or confine you to a person with an average academic career right through. So where we will go, you'll be presenting yourself as an average person, versus if you have had a mediocre educational career and you suddenly have an IIM at the end of your career, of your educational life, your perception, the perception people have about you will be different. It's not just about perceptions that people have, it's also about the quality of learning that you'll get, the kind of resources, the kind of, it's not, and I also always tell people, and it's not about, I always tell people that it's not about only the brand of the IIM that you go for. You go there for the learning. If you go for the brand, nobody will select you also. You are going there for the learning, and the learning that the MBA from a top B school gives you will be drastically and vastly different than an MBA from a normal college. Third, the kind of peer group you will meet will be very different if you are passing out of a top 10 B school versus passing out of a mediocre B school. To give you a small example, I passed out of IIM Bangalore in the 1995 batch. And I have my engineering batchmates from a private engineering college. And when we got reconnected to social media, you can actually see the difference between water and blood when you talk about the kind of careers they have had. So whereas my IIM batchmates are mostly at the peak or the zenith of different companies, or very close to that, most of my engineering batchmates, etc., are almost unnamed, unsung people. And since you have only one career, the kind of peer group you go to or you are living with, it has a huge difference in terms of your own achievements. So very often you will find that if you belong to a strong peer group, which an IIM will give you, you will not be very easily satisfied with yourself. And when you are not easily satisfied with yourself, it will give you the motivation to perform further. Whereas that you will not, I mean that kind of a peer group you will not get out of your normal B schools. Hence it is important to make it to a top B school for this last educational career, for this last educational qualification that you are trying to get in. And the last but not the least, the last part is the packages and the salaries. Try to do one thing when you finish off this video. Put up a Excel sheet, start an Excel sheet. On one side of the Excel sheet, put a 6 lakh starting package or an 8 lakh starting package. On the other side, put a 20 lakh starting package. And grow both these packages by 10% every year, which is the normal rate of growth in the Indian corporate sector. And in a 20-year career, you will see that a person who's starting at 20 lakhs will earn at least 5 to 7 crore rupees more than a person who's starting at an 8 lakh career, at an 8 lakh starting package. It is not just about losing 12 lakhs in the first year. By the 6th year, you'll be losing 25 lakhs per year. By the 12th, 13th year, you'll be losing 50 lakhs per year. And by the 18th, 20th year, you'll be losing 50 lakhs to a crore a year. That is the difference between the careers that a top B school gives you versus the careers a normal mediocre MBA from a second level B school gives you. Hence, the idea has to be to get to the top possible B school that you can get to. I'm the first person who will tell you that money is not important, but you do realize the difference the 10 crore bank balance will make in 20 years in your life. Thanks a lot. All the best. Stay inspired.